Alright, Microsoft, let's get around to you, you greedy old bastards. So Forza 7 is out today, I think, probably, I don't give a shit. What I do give a shit about are exploitative gambling mechanics masquerading as fun loot boxes in video games. I'm sure you've picked up that about me already. And it just so happens that loot boxes are in Forza 7 and they take the ruddy piss. This news has been a bit old, but I've been a bit sick, so that's why I'm covering it now. But like I said, I don't do news shows. I do opinions and punditry and all that bollocks, so I can talk about whatever I want whenever I want to. And right now, I want to call Microsoft a bunch of greedy fucks. I also want to talk about these excellent boglins that I recently purchased, but I've got to wait for the other one to arrive first, so we'll... I didn't want to talk about boglins right now. Let's talk about loot boxes. So Forza 7 represents another situation similar to what we saw with Destiny 2, where something that players have gotten used to before in a game has been changed in order to accommodate this horseshit economy that publishers feel they're entitled to when they really don't fucking deserve it. If you want a free-to-play economy in your game, make a free-to-play game, you hacks! But that's besides the point, we've already covered that. Microtransactions and $60 games already, boo, 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 we don't like that. But that's not enough for the game industry because people were complacent, people were fine with that, people were fine with it, it was just cosmetic after all. The game industry saw the complacency, the game industry seized upon the complacency, the game industry made it worse and worse and worse and will continue to plumb the depths. Microtransactions were previously in the Forza series, you could trade them in for a virtual currency. That's still bollocks, by the way. Just because the new way microtransactions are being done with the gambling stuff is worse, doesn't mean I've forgotten that microtransactions on their own in these games are already a bunch of balls. But Microtransaction Soft, haha, that's a funny name, decided to make things worse because of course it did. So now the currency that, yes, you can still earn in-game, can be spent on loot boxes, not just on other stuff. The developer Turn 10 has called their loot boxes prize crates, and of course they come in various distinctions with various price ranges. Your lowest one is like your basic mods crate, which is 20,000 CR according to Ars Technica here, and apparently, you know, you can complete 2 races in the game and get those. So of course the stuff that's in there is not going to be all that great. But if you grind long enough to get the Monopoly money CR coins, or, of course, dip into your wallet, which is what they'd prefer, and buy them outright, you could get yourself an elite crate for 150,000 CR, how tempting. As well as a limited time lucky car crate. That's 300,000. Now, to be as fair as I'm inclined to be, it is worth pointing out, of course, that right now, at the time of launch, everything is earned strictly in-game. No real-world money alternative yet, but the yet is a very, very clear operative word. Turn 10 have already confirmed that they plan to introduce the opportunity to skip the grind, skip the gameplay, skip the value of the thing you bought in order to buy your way into success. And here's the rub, because you really are buying your way into success with this one. Ars Technica calls it pay to earn, and it's a pretty good term. I'm annoyed I didn't come up with it myself. I'm good with terms. You get mods in these loot boxes. Mods, as the name might imply, modify the game. Actually, no, you might have thought that the name implied that they'd modify cars. They don't modify the cars, they modify the game. Mods change how races behave, and you earn more of those coins, more of that CR, more of that virtual currency, if you apply a mod to a race, because it adds an extra challenge, makes it more difficult, you know, throws in a twist. Something for you to overcome, and you get rewarded with more gold. Maybe you have a mod that'll change the next race from a race during the day to a race during the night. Dark and spooky, but get you 30% more CR. You see where this is going, right? You earn CR. You spend CR on loot boxes to get mods to earn more CR to get more loot boxes. Now, do you remember the live-action Popeye film? The one with Robin Williams in it. I haven't seen that film since I was a child, but there is one scene I will never forget. I don't know why. It wasn't particularly memorable or amazing, but there's that dude, and I'm sure many of you are going to remember him when I bring him up. There's that dude who's walking around the town kicking his hat. He's chasing his hat, but every time he tries to pick his hat up off the ground, he kicks it. It's an old gag, an old bit of slapstick, but it always stuck with me as a kid in my mind, and it's a great visual image that can represent many things. And in this case, it represents the new loot system that Forza has going for it. Pay to earn. And if you've ever put on a biohazard suit and wandered into the murky depths of the mobile market and what that fucking quagmire has become, it might be familiar. Certain games exist just to fuel their own economies. That's all they are. They are just economies with the vagary of a game draped around them. And too many real games have taken notice of that and seen how depressingly successful some of them are and are just copying them. So pay to earn. Someone kicking their hat as they try and pick it up. An endless loop of chasing success. And that's not all. You sweet summer child, why would it be? It's the game industry. There's no such thing as that's all, folks. I mentioned Destiny 2 earlier in the video. Here's where that comparison becomes relevant. The ability to modify the behavior of a race to earn more coins used to be a standard feature. You could turn on and turn off various assistances, make the game harder for yourself and earn more CR in return. It's a classic traditional risk and reward mechanic that has made many games more compelling and has now been gutted out of the experience and mutilated in order to fit this fucking economy. The ability to turn on and off assists is still in the game. The ability to earn more CR for doing these things no longer applies. And that's why I don't fucking buy it. Ever. When I hear developers or, various apologists ask a corporate mouthpiece, whoever, claims bold-facedly that we don't cut content from games to make more money. Yeah, you do. It might not be as blatant and obvious as making a game and then piecemeal taking things out of it after you've made it, but slowly eroding features from a series, slowly taking things out of games that used to be in there as standard, like that cosmetic DLC that everyone loves to defend so much. I remember when that was part of a basic fucking experience. I remember a time when cheat codes were cheat codes, not things you bought. Charge me money for a fucking big head mode. That's what you do. And the evidence is on the table. There's no speculation there. There's no conspiracy theory there. We have mounting evidence of games removing their features slowly over time, which I think is even more insidious than making a full game, carving stuff out and then selling it to you after the fact. Oh, and don't worry, there is cosmetic DLC in this game as well. Now, Turn 10 haven't gone fully fucking cheeky yet. The ability to freely customize and modify the look of your cars, that's been left intact. For now. There's no way at this juncture Turn 10 could have gotten away with gutting that out of the game. But give it time. As the game industry gets more and more excessive, greater transgressions will of course become more acceptable. Unfortunately. But this is a AAA video game in a AAA world. You're gonna have cosmetic DLC somewhere, so how have Turn 10 solved that problem? Drum roll! I could have added a drumroll sound effect, but it's just fun to slap my table. Drivers. That's how you add cosmetic DLC without looking like you've taken something away from people. Modify the drivers. You can customize how the little fucker sitting in your car looks. Now you hardly ever see the driver, because it's a fucking racing game, but that hasn't stopped them. And you might be thinking, well, that looks absolutely fucking desperate, doesn't it? That looks completely fucking pitiful. That's pathetic. And you're right, it is. If ever I needed a finer example of my recent argument that I've been making that AAA is cultural, it's not financial, it's not about big publishers, it's a culture thing. This is fucking it, sunshine. Cosmetic DLC for the sake of it, because it's a AAA game and it needs it. For its own sake, It just needs it because that's what AAA games have. Turn 10 had fucked themselves over with previous games by giving players so much that they couldn't take it away without looking really fucking shit. So they clawed and scraped and scrabbled to find something cosmetic to stuff in their fucking loot crates. So you got hundreds of driver costumes in these fucking loot boxes, which of course means if there's one you really want, keep on opening them. Partake in the grind to get what you want or succumb to the seduction of the helpful time saver. Just open your wallet, it's an option. We're just here to give players options, they say again. I'm very disappointed in you, Turn 10, for that. You're a classy developer, have a better class of excuse because the option thing is really not cutting it anymore and it's starting to sound really fucking sad. Alright, I'm done talking about this fucking game now. AAA games don't have any dignity left. Where's your fucking dignity? Where's your pride? Where's your self-respect? Maybe it's hidden in one of your fucking prize crates.